Deep, subversive thoughts. She's very attractive to Winston Smith because she offers real sex. She actually enjoys sex, and not only that, she gets some lipstick somewhere. Very, very, very naughty thing to have done.
Your face.
You like it?
Yes.
Pro-women use this stuff. I don't know if I put it on right.
Sexual relations breed an intimacy and a valuing between people. When you're in love, the person you love is the most important thing. That means the state and the utopia is not the most important thing. So sex is always a danger.
The lasting legacy of 1984 as a novel is Big Brother is watching you, is this idea of what a British totalitarian society might be like.
He scrutinized each list of casualties. He even found time to rejoice in accounts of individual acts of heroism by our glorious soldiers.
Nothing is private. Everyone is watched all the time through telescreens, which pick up as well as relay, and which are so accurate they can observe your heartbeat.
The notion of a TV set you can't turn off is profoundly creepy. And I think probably that side of 1984 has much more to do with the notion of the surveillance society, which didn't actually happen in Britain for about 50 years. Now we are, I believe, the most photographed, recorded, surveilled, spied on population in the world.
Two gin-soaked tears trickled down the sides of his nose, but it was all right. Everything was all right. The struggle was finished. He'd won the victory over himself. He loved Big Brother.
This last passage about loving Big Brother is a deeply ironic passage, because who has Big Brother got? He's just got this drunk. It's not the victory of the state over a already beaten man. It's the worthlessness of power.
But certainly as a writer and as a work, 1984 is a particular, I think, is a wonderful piece. I mean, and also because that does lead into the whole thing about British SF being, a bit depressing, because not the happiest of endings in 1984. I could make it a lot worse actually if I was rewriting it. But.
George Orwell sent his old teacher a copy of the book. Aldous Huxley eventually read 1984 and sent him a patronizing letter. How fine the book is, but my own belief is that the ruling oligarchy will find less arduous and wasteful ways of governing, and that these ways will resemble those which I described in Brave New World. Orwell didn't live to find out if his predictions would come true. But within a year of the book appearing, its telescreens had taken over the nation's living rooms.
He did foresee a certain way that television was about to be incorporated into everybody's homes. He also foresaw a very long time before it actually happened the incorporation of television into public spaces. I think 1984 is the first prediction that people would put televisions up in pubs, for instance.
There's a certain irony in the fact that Orwell warning about the power of television then becomes the basis of one of the most important early BBC television programmes.
The TV drama appeared on the BBC in 1954, just 5 years after the book had come out.
Atomic war, famine, revolution.
It had been a literary sensation, but the television play made an even bigger splash. It was watched by 7 million viewers. Even the Queen tuned in.
This, in 1984, is London, chief city of Airstrip 1, a province of the state of Oceania.
It was at the time that there was a big censorship kerfuffle. The video nasties of the 1950s were American horror comics, Tales from the Crypt, that sort of stuff, which lots of censorious busybodies wanted banned. And people said, you know, why is the BBC putting out a horror comic?
Last night's play insulting to people's intelligence. Shocking bad taste on Sunday night.
We've all come to the conclusion that the persons responsible for putting on the play are sadists and readers of horror comics. For weeks on Sundays we have to watch dismal, immoral and sadistically highbrow plays. Thank God for Wilfred Pickles and the Grove family.
Some people were very shocked at the time, or said they were, and the newspapers in particular took that theme up. Said, why were we made to see all this upsetting material on our television screens, including rats? The British public seeing rats on their television screen. I mean, at that point you just have a laugh.
What did you want me to do? No!
By itself, pain is not always enough.
This was no laughing matter. 40-year-old Beryl Mervyn died of a heart attack while watching the play. It was official. TV was so bad for you it could kill you. This fitted perfectly into the nightmare visions of British science fiction writers.
Well, there's a strong element in dystopian fiction which assumes that television will be used as a medium of social control, either directly, as in 1984, or indirectly, as in Brave New World and the year of the Sex Olympics.
BBC writer Nigel Neal, who had adapted 1984 for television, saw a future where TV controlled the hearts, minds and libidos of viewers. The year of the Sex Olympics, shown in 1968, returned to the old favourite, sex and nudity, with a 1960s spin.
So keep looking. Maybe tonight's winners make it to the Olympics. First round then, and welcome to those king-style lovers, Cara Dindo and Stuart Tenderly. Hello there, Stuart and Cara.
In Brave New World, sex was so casual, no one cared who you copped off with. 30 years later, in the year of the Sex Olympics, sex was banned, apart from the champions in training, televised in a constant stream of pornography.
1984 is about the government of a miserable future, whereas Year of the Sex Olympics is about the media of a miserable future. Orwell had to imagine television. He didn't know that much about it. Nigel Neal was a television professional who'd lived within it for 20 years by the time he wrote Year of the Sex Olympics.
At that time, the big thing was overpopulation. That's the great dread that the population of the world would just go right out of control. It is better to watch all the sex you like. In fact, you're almost compelled to. As you watch big television screens of wonderful quality, and you see the most beautiful people all having it off with a purpose, a very noble purpose, of calming the entire population of the world.
When the audience tired of their diet of TV sex, the channel executives put on a new kind of program.
The live show. Vision units set inside and outside the hut. Main unit inside is set in roof.
It's the first ever reality television show, 24 hours a day of cruelty and violence.
The basic joke is that TV executives will kill for ratings. If you look at it now, you would assume that it was written in reaction to the craze for reality television that's only been around for the last 2 or 3 years. It's a piece of work that's still astonishingly, indeed terrifyingly relevant.
If dystopian science fiction has been obsessed by TV, so TV has been in love with science fiction. Since 1963, the world-weary Doctor Who has delivered a galaxy of troubled planets right into our living rooms.
If anybody has mass-produced dystopias in Britain, it's been Doctor Who.
way to travel.
Invariably, the society